Hi everyone, I hope life is treating you kindly. I'm Lubomira and thank you for joining me today. Welcome to all my crafty friends, new and returning. I always look forward to this time of the week when we get together for some crafting fun. I want to thank you for all the get well wishes last week. I'm feeling a lot better, and for the most part, my sniffles are gone and my voice seems to be back. So thank you again for all those lovely wishes. Now, since I have you here, please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. By hitting that little bell, you'll get notified every time I post something new, and you won't miss out on any of the crafty goodness. Today's card is a shaker card using some coordinating themed Dollar Tree supplies. I used practically all Dollar Tree supplies here, and I'll be showing you a unique item to create shaker pouches from. I'm excited to show you this card, so let's get into the video. This card came together rather quickly because almost everything I used was pre-made, and it was just a matter of putting things together. I started off by creating the shaker background. I glued a piece of blue-green paper I found in a Dollar Tree paper pack to a regular A2 size panel using liquid glue. I then added double-sided tape along the edges of all four sides of the back of the panel before moving on to the actual pouch part. You want to use a fairly strong double-sided tape because that's what's going to be holding the shaker together. As far as shakers go, I think this one is one of the easiest and fastest ways of creating a shaker card. I like to call these infinity shakers because the pouch that holds the confetti goes edge to edge of the card and gets secured in the back. You can use any soft plastic film like cellophane to create the pouch. I say soft plastic because you want something that will wrap around the card panel with a fair amount of ease, but something strong enough not to rip. Some companies out there have made pre-made pouches, but a lot of crafters recycle their stamping packaging for this. Today, I'm using a Dollar Tree treat bag to create the pouch for this shaker card. These are so much fun and make for great shaker pouches. Dollar Tree carries a lot of these basically all year round in various themes. I thought this cute penguin would make a fun background for this card. I cut down the baggy so that it was slightly larger than a standard size panel, about a ½ an inch around. Remember, you can always cut it down, so it's better to have it too large than too small. Once the plastic is cut down, I can create the pouch. It's easiest to work on the project face down. I started to fasten the film into place by removing the double-sided tape backing and folding the plastic over it. The idea here is to make sure that the plastic remains nice, flat, and taut without actually bending the cardstock. I attached 3 sides of the shaker, keeping one side open to add the shaker bits. Next, I added some Dollar Tree silver and iridescent chunky glitter. Every season, Dollar Tree has some sort of small craft kit, which comes with an assortment of supplies. This one I found was a snowflake themed kit, which had the large iridescent and silver glitter. I also added a smaller silver glitter that they carry all year long. Then I added some large red sequins to the shaker as well. Once I had all my bits inside, I sealed the final side of the pouch. Depending on how your film folds, you may have to trim it at the corners to create a nice flat fold. I simply snip the corner at an angle and then reinforce the corners with a small amount of double-sided tape. After sealing the shaker, I attach it to a white card base using a combination of double-sided tape and liquid glue. Between the glue and the tape, the confetti is securely contained, so it's not going anywhere. I used a piece of red paper from a paper pack and glued it to a white card panel to add more stability. I trimmed the panel down to 4 1/4 by 3 inches using my trimmer and then rounded the panel's corners using a corner punch. To add a little bit more interest to the panel, I masked off about 1/4 inch around the edge and stenciled a fun pattern using a Dollar Tree background stencil. Since the stencil was so small, I went ahead and moved it several times over the entire background to fill it completely. I used picket fences paper glaze for the stenciling, which dries very quickly. In fact, in the time it took me to wipe the stencil between uses, the glaze was set enough for me not to worry about smudging it the next time I placed the stencil. I cleaned the stencil between uses because the openings of stencil were very small and sometimes they get gunked up with the glaze, so that the pattern doesn't come out as clear through multiple uses. I simply used a rag and water to lightly wipe the stencil clean. I also made sure that the stencil was dry before placing it back on the project. As I mentioned earlier, most of the items I used were pre-made for this card. For the sentiment and little character, I used some leftover Dollar Tree gift tags. Both came from the same set, so they coordinated really well together. In fact, the little penguin matched the penguins on the shaker pouch. That's another nice thing about Dollar Tree product. Very often they create coordinating items that can create a cohesive look. In this case, my husband would love because it is so matchy-matchy. I trimmed the tags using my scissors and fussy cut the penguin so that it stood on its own. I have all the pieces I need to finish this card. I attached the stencil panel to the front of the shaker using foam tape. I then added my fa la 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 greeting on top of the panel using foam tape, followed by the penguin. I gave the penguin a little bit more dimension by doubling up on the foam tape so that it stood higher than the sentiment. Lastly, I used some of the chunky silver glitter to add some shine to the front of the card. And that's it for this card. This was a fun little card to create. I really love how all the parts came together, creating a very intentional matchy-matchy look. I also love this type of shaker because the bits are tightly secure so it doesn't run the risk of coming apart in the mail. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did sharing it with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, please leave me those comments. I always look forward to hearing all the wonderful things you have to say. I hope you'll join me next time for another project. Until then, have a fantastic week, and I hope life treats you kindly. Take care. Bye.